welcome back to RC Icons. Buy box. This is the last one, I think. Been here forever. I've not bought anything on Buy for almost 2 months. So I've got a kit, Kyosho kit, Tamiya body, and then other stuff here that I'm really not sure what it is. It's been so long. Might be some decals maybe, but it's primarily the kit that kind of brought upon the rest of it, because once I had a kit in storage, small parts really didn't matter. Wasn't going to up the shipping. With the tariffs and everything, it just costs too much money. Maybe someday that will sort itself out and we'll be back on Buy, but for the time, and to be honest, I don't really need anything more than what I have already, so it's probably a good thing. I'm still on Buy watching, but I just won't bid up what I would typically bid. So I was just watching a Mugen Mercury, stopped at 400, whereas before I probably would have went a little bit higher, but I know that's going to cost me almost 200 to ship home, so 600 to my door is just too much money. And then what else was I watching? Oh, there was another. It was like a low. It was a Losi lot, but it was also a Kyosho lot. So it was a Kyosho ZX that was in great shape, and then just so many parts, like random parts, turnbuckles, and just like ball cups and ball ends and stuff that you can use on any build. And I love lots like that because I use up that kind of hardware quite a bit, actually. And it had like the Tamiya blue, almost like a Lunsford style turnbuckle, and it also had them in gold, and there was a ton of them, all different lengths. And I took that one up to 400 and then walked away as well, whereas normally I would probably go further, but it just wasn't worth it to me. So this is probably it for Buy. And I think I have an idea for what I'm going to do for videos in the winter. There'll be some builds, but I just haven't had time to really do a bunch of builds, so not as many as I'd like, and I don't want to buy kits just for the sake of buying kits. I'm looking around my room right now. I got kits everywhere, so next to me, you can't see them. But this is one I've wanted for 4 years. I've seen it come up a few times, and it just always did more money than I would be willing to pay for it. It's an on-road car. I already have this chassis, and I have 2 body sets of this particular car, and it's this kit that got me to buy those body sets, that we can always use them on something else. So that's the reason for the kit. And then the body set, the Tamiya body set, is for a build that I'm doing. Gareth sent me, I think it was an M08R touring car, and I needed a particular length body that I actually had, but I decided I didn't want to use the body set that I had on that car, so I bought another body set. And I'll explain that more when we get to the body. So let me bring the camera over and open this stuff up, and I'll kind of explain the situation as I do it. Alright, so we'll start with the small stuff like usual. This is just, I believe, yeah, I think these are the TRF 201 rear uprights. You guys have seen me bring in a pile of these. This just happens to be a couple more. They were used, but cheap, and they weren't like dinged up. I think Tamiya may be re-reing the 201. It's a bold statement, but I've been able to pick up front arms, which were unobtainium, and white front wheels, which were also unobtainium, pretty easily out of Japan for the past month, which leads me to believe that like Tamiya is making them again. And with all success, essentially, that it's a nice cardstock, that Associated and everybody else has had in the re market with race cars, something inside me is telling me that the Tamiya TRF 201 is going to get re-read. I don't know that they would do all the variants of it, but I think the 201 itself may be re-read. Don't quote me on that. I know it's a bold statement, but just something inside of me is making me think that. This was just a decal set that had come up. It's TB Evolution 5 MS. Again, I buy this stuff just for the TRF and Tamiya decals. And then another yellow, and it's almost like a purple TRF decal set. I already have the yellow and purple, but you know how I am. I hoard decals, TRF decals. So it is what it is. Might be more decals. I ordered all decals, to be honest. ZX5, TRF. Just because I'd rather use original decals than reproductions. Not that there's anything wrong with the reproductions. Sometimes I think the reproductions are better. But like when you're talking Kyosho and Losi decals. Oh, 501 decals. Sweet. Like Losi and Kyosho have a tendency to not put decals that are on the box art of the car in the box. So you're stuck with trying to come up with them, whereas sometimes like if you order MCI decals and you get like the JRX2 or the JRXT, you will get the decals that are in the box art, whereas what's in the box are not what's box art, which can be frustrating, but the MCI decals are actually a more box art friendly set of decals. So this is just an under tray for a 501, but it's obviously an original Tamiya under tray. Penguin is now doing the under trays, which is awesome, and I do have some Penguin ones. But I ordered those decals in that under tray just because it was $7 and maybe $30 for the decal set. So that's it for the small stuff. I told you I really haven't been buying. So this body set, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I think it's close. Well, I thought it was close, but it's not. It must be in storage. The MOAR Gareth had sent me. I forget what the wheelbase is, but obviously it's a mini. It's an M chassis. So it's on the smaller side. 257 maybe, or 190, and you may even be able to set it up multiple wheelbases. And I have a couple of bodies that will work for that, but the one that really was going to work the best was the 911 GT2. So I have a 911 GT2 kit. It's the street one. I have that kit. And I had won this a while back. And I was actually going to use this body set and just not use the Nissan Stacard livery on it. And then I was like, man, I just need a TO. I can't remember if this was a TA01 or a TA02, but I have a bunch of body sets like this. The Schnitzer BMW M3. That one is also on like a TA01 or a TA02. This Stacard, also the GT2, the mobile. I think it was it mobile? Or no, Pia. The Pia 911 GT2, like there's just a lot of possibilities. And TA01 and TA02 chassis are very easy to find. They're all over Buyee for $50 to $100, right? So to get a chassis together is pretty easy to do. But if I use that body set, then I won't have a GT2 body for the decals that are in that box. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy another body set. Now, that's easier said than done. Of course, you can buy one from like L&L Models or an aftermarket company, but I like Tamiya body sets, to be honest. They're one of the best in the business. So this was on Buy It Now, and the body set with the wing and stuff, I think it was like $37. It wasn't crazy. They're usually 70 or more. And this is a Tamiya one. This is from 1996. Now, they may have used this mold on a bunch of different kits. I'd be willing to bet this is the same 58172. So this is the Nissan Stacard body set based on the item number. The 58172 is that car that I just have up here. But they may have used this in the Pia one. They may have also used it in the GT2 Street one. I'm not sure. But basically it was a package deal. You got the body set, and then you also got the hard parts. So there's your wing and mirrors. I love the GT2 just because the wing is really high up in the back. So I think what's going to end up happening is I'm probably going to end up building the M08 chassis. And now that I have this, that will get painted up in probably not like a race livery, just as like a street car. Probably along the lines of what Gavin did when he did his. I think he did his in like a metallic reddish color, and it came out really nice. And then that car's done, and then I have that body set that I can do the Nissan Stacard, however you pronounce it, race livery, someday when I put a chassis together for it. A lot like what I'm going to do with the Schnitzer BMW, because if you try to find that kit or the Schnitzer kit, you're well over $300. I didn't even pay $100 for those body sets, and you can get a chassis together for whatever, $100, $150, and it's done. You have the kit in your collection now, or the car in your collection, and it didn't kill you to buy a kit. And it takes less room to store body sets than it does kit boxes. So that's kind of the method behind my madness. So you guys have seen in the last couple of Buyee videos, I showed this McLaren body set. which is this kit actually. And this has everything for it. And then I had also showed this, the Gulf McLaren body set. Both of these body sets were because I've always wanted this kit. And I have the TF3 chassis that kit is on. Now these bodies are different, but they're both McLaren. And it looks like one is just bigger than the other. So obviously the wheelbase is different. So, well, actually the wheelbase, believe it or not, is the same, according to the cutouts. So the wheelbase is the same. The width appears to be the same, but this one is definitely longer in the back, whereas this one's a two-piece body. This one looks like it's more of a one-piece style body. Of course, they're different liveries. This may have been for gas one. I'm not sure what the difference was. This was for a pure 10, and so is that one. But I'm not sure if the pure 10 gas cars had were a bigger size body. I still think this would look kick-ass on a TF3. So either way, these two body sets happened because I've always wanted this kit. And to be honest, I've always wanted this kit. I bought the Lotus GT1, but if I had my way, this would have been the car that I would have taken. So this is the McLaren. Oh, it is a Gulf livery. The McLaren Gulf livery. I don't know that one's Gulf. Now it's got me thinking. For some reason I didn't think it was Gulf livery in this kit specifically. So this one is not the Gulf livery. This is a different livery. So then I would assume, when we open the kit, that Gulf livery one is going to be the same as the Gulf box livery that I have. What fell out of this thing? Piece of cardboard. Double-sided tape. So I was under the assumption that this body set here was the same as what comes in this, but it's not. It's different. And it's probably the other body set that comes in this. So I built this car on a channel a while back. It's just a TF3. Like my GT1 is. So this one, oh, it is Gulf. So they give you two different liveries for the car usually, but maybe this is all Gulf. I'm not sure. Yeah, it is all Gulf. Nice. I don't know what all the orange stripes go around. Super cool. So I'm curious now which body it is based on the bodies that I have here. I don't think it would be a third one, so although you never know. Alright, we're going to put that back after. Manual's crisp and clean. Got the breakdown, some LRP, sales pitch stuff. So there's the Opel Calibra that I built last year that I have a 2-speed in. So I've got that one. I love the GT40. Absolutely love the look of that car. I've only seen one body set. Actually, I have a GT40 Kyosho body set. But I don't know if it's the same size. So there's your TF3 wing and stuff. And then Yeah, this looks like the body that's in the other box. Yeah, it is. So that Golf body is this one. So I do have the right one for the car. I don't know what McLaren body that one's for. But yeah, it's just a TF3. But quite honestly, it's the best looking TF3 I think they made. It just, for me, it does it. I love the lines of that car. So yeah, super excited. I'm gonna build this car just like the Lotus. I did not buy this just to have as a kit. I bought it specifically to build it. I'm not sure if I'll put a 2-speed on this or not. My other TF3 does not have the 2-speed on it, but my Opel Calibra, which is a TF2, has the 2-speed on it, and the chassis is essentially the same. Between the 2 and the 3, it's essentially the same. It does show the 2-speed as an option on this car. You can put the 2-speed on this, so hyper clutch. I've got a hyper clutch, new and packed, so we could do a hyper clutch maybe. Foam bumper. Picture shows full option, but I know the optional 2-speed does fit this chassis because it's the same gearbox essentially as the TF2, which is what it's based for. I thought there was a picture of it with the 2-speed on it, but it's not. Front one-way universals, center one-way unit, hyper clutch, special motor mount, foam bumper, low friction belt, low friction bent, stabilizer set, carbon. I do have a carbon chassis, up top deck, and shock towers too. Super cool. I am psyched I finally got this kit. 4 years I've been waiting to get this. And like I said, I couldn't find it. This is a 4-wheel drive. This chassis, I still haven't driven mine, but I can tell you what, this thing's going to kick ass. I should really get my other one out now that winter's here. I'm saying that, but we're going to get this one built, and maybe Caleb will drive the GT1, the Lotus, and I'll drive this one, the GTR. Man, I love the Golf colors. Maybe that's what does it for me, but I do love the McLaren look. So, yeah, the F1. This was the fastest the McLaren F1 real world was the fastest supercar of its time period at like 208 miles an hour. So it was no joke, the real car when it came out. And Kyosho was smart to do a kit of it. I love it. Super cool. So yeah, that's going to wrap up this video. Probably the last buy-you video for a while. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's just kind of random stuff, but it is stuff that's come in, and at some point we'll get to build this thing. Just takes so long to build a car now. I'm just busy. I'm almost done the garage, but we're getting there. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd ask you to consider subscribing to support the channel. Leave a thumbs up if you like the kit. Let me know in the comments what you think. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Thanks.